rumors from the paddock talk about a possible future for Jackson in Formula 1. And with only a few laps to go, this is still anyone's race.
The atmosphere here is electric, and we couldn't have asked for a better finish to the F2 season here in Abu Dhabi.
But now we're coming through the final corner. We have a very wobbly rear end, but that won't stop us from taking the checkered flag and winning the F2 driver's title.
And he's done it! Jackson's done it! Aiden Jackson wins the F2 championship! After this, I guarantee that Jackson will be the hot topic in more than a few upcoming F1 team meetings. The future's definitely bright for this young driver.
Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming, and you can see we're back with the F1 2021 Breaking Point series, and this is chapter 1. The last video was a prologue, and that wasn't called chapter 1 because that was still in Formula 2. This is chapter 1. This is the beginning of our Formula 1 career. Having won the Formula 2 Drivers' Championship, Aiden Jackson has now secured a seat in Formula 1 and is preparing to take his first steps into the world's most prestigious motorsport series. So here we go, let's begin the Formula 1 journey.
Aiden, now you've made the leap to Formula 1, no surprise to anyone who's been watching your career. How does it feel to be on the verge of getting behind the wheel for your first race?
To be honest with you, Will, it hasn't really quite sunk in yet. The team has given me a fantastic opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime, a dream come true. So, to answer your question, I feel like a little kid. I look around and I'm surrounded by my heroes, you know? I've even had to pinch myself a couple of times. So, yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming. But out on the track, the speed, the noise, even the smell, it's all the same. I just hope my driving is too.
And what about Casper Ackerman? Are you intimidated at all having such a seasoned and experienced driver as your first teammate in Formula 1? How's that relationship coming along?
I've always looked up to Casper as someone to aspire to. Growing up as a kid, his pictures were all over my bedroom walls, you know? The dream was always to be Casper. But, as it turns out, I'll be racing alongside Casper, which is good enough for me. I get to learn from the best. Besides, every legend has to start somewhere, right?
Aiden, just wondering if we can get your reaction to the obvious comparisons that are being made between you and another F1 driver. Much like you, he made the transition from F2 to F1 last season. What do you say to the press here, and to your fans, who are calling you the new Devon Butler?
The new Devon Butler. I'm alright with that. Does that mean we can lose the old one?
You come over well. They like you. I don't know what you were worried about.
Thanks.
You know, everything's going to be fine out there today. I just know it. Just do what you did in F2. Easy.
Thanks, Brian. I won't let you down. Come on, Aiden. You've got this.
So we saw some great cinematics there of Aiden Jackson and his press conference. I think his first press conference in Formula 1, and you can see there are some news stories here, and we got a podium pass achievement. As we move on, so this is, I think, Aiden Jackson's room. This is where the driver would probably spend the most time during a race weekend, and you can see that this is the social media. There's emails and there's news. So yeah, that's great to see in the F1 game. But first of all, right now we have to attend a call from Brian.
Hello?
Aiden, are you in your room?
Oh, hey Brian. Yeah, I'm in my room.
Good. Well, have a look around. I hope you like it. Should be everything you need in there. News feeds, social media. It's hooked up to the lot. Just do me a favour, eh?
Go on.
Make sure you check your emails. I think there's a message in there for you.
Oh, right. Thanks, Brian.
Take a breather, do what you need to do, and I'll see you before the race.
Nice one.
So there's a little introduction from Brian to Aiden Jackson about Aiden Jackson's room. Brian was the guy who gave Aiden Jackson that thumbs up when Jackson won the Formula 2 championship. But before I speak more, we need to attend an incoming call from Aiden Jackson's mom.
Hello?
Hello, love. How's it going?
Alright, Ma. Yeah, it's going alright. Just getting ready.
I saw your interview.
And?
You need a haircut.
Alright. Well, thanks, I guess.
But aside from that, you were great. I'm so proud of you, Aiden.
I know, Ma. Thanks.
I wish I could be out there with you. This is everything you've worked towards.
Yeah, I know, but you'll be at the next one.
Just do what you do, and everything will be great.
Thanks, Ma.
And remember, mirror signal maneuver. And always stick to the speed limit.
Great advice. I'm all over it.
I know you are, love. I'll speak to you later. Good luck.
Bye.
That was actually quite a nice touch. I'm glad that they put this in the game, that this is part of the experience, Aiden Jackson's relationship with his mom. And it shows that that phone call was actually quite funny. It was quite entertaining, especially because some of the lines that Aiden Jackson's mom says, like you need a haircut and mirror signal maneuver. Yeah, especially, and stick to the speed limit, stuff that pretty much barely applies to Formula 1. But yeah, that was quite hilarious. And speaking of hilarious, some of the tweets, I'm pretty sure the social part of this room is pretty much from Twitter, and some of the tweets are really realistically funny. I mean, in real life, some of the tweets that you see on Twitter are really funny, and there are memes and jokes all over the place, and I feel like we could see that in the social part of Aiden Jackson's room, which is something great to see. And it just makes the experience of the game pretty wholesome. As we now move on to the email section, you can see that we have a couple of emails. The first one is from Gunther Steiner, who is the team principal of Haas F1 team. It's a great email. It's pretty much welcoming Aiden to the team, and it's kind of motivating him. And the next email is from Jeff Nelson, which is Jeff, our race engineer. He's giving us some tips to stay off the heavy curbs, like the curb I just showed you, and this one, the curbs on these two turns. I think that's turn 6 and turn 9, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you don't want to go on those curbs so heavily. It could upset your car, it could spin you out. And yeah, just some tips from Jeff. We did see those in F1 2020 My Team Career, and we're seeing them again in F1 2021 Breaking Point, which is great to see. It's good to see that kind of continuity. So we also have an email from our teammate Casper Ackerman. He's pretty much wishing us good luck, and he also said that he gave some paperwork to Aiden's personal assistant. And before we head on to the race, to the real challenge in chapter 1, we do have a podium pass reward that we claim, I think, for winning the F2 championship, if I'm not wrong, or I think that reward is for making the step up to Formula 1 pretty much. So yeah, we claimed that reward. I was just exploring this part of the room because you can see some of the cinematics, so you can replay those cinematics, and you have call history, which is really cool to see. But now we head into chapter 1. We're going to land mid-race with the world watching and the expectations high at Haas. F1 rookie Aiden Jackson appears to be holding his own in his maiden race in Melbourne. With the possibility of a points finish, he keeps focused on the race in front of him.
A solid start, Aiden. Let's try and push it further.
Copy that. Where's Casper?
He's up ahead. Let's try and bring you two closer together.
So here we are at Melbourne and the Albert Park circuit, driving this Haas F1 car, and we have to catch up to Casper Ackerman before lap number 11. We're currently sitting in P14 and Ackerman is in P10, so we have a handful of overtakes to make and a lot of time to catch up so that we can complete the objective and catch up to Casper Ackerman. We have to catch up 6 seconds in like 5 laps, which is barely any time, so this looks like it might be a difficult challenge. But then again, the prologue was also a it looked like a very difficult challenge, but we managed to complete it anyway. But so yeah, we're gonna have to try and do this. You can see that behind Ricardo we face a huge amount of dirty air through that chicane, so yeah, we couldn't catch up to him through there. But here down into the next corner, I think this is turn 13 if I'm not wrong, we make a good overtake. It's not too much of a dive bomb, it's a well calculated overtake, and we get that position. We're up in a P13 now, chasing after Antonio Giovinazzi. You can see we're catching up to him really fast. We've already closed the gap up to Casper Ackerman by around a second and a half or maybe 2 seconds, so we're doing really well here. Things are looking great. We've caught up to Giovinazzi now. I'm just trying to stick behind him, and you can see that we're so fast and he looks so slow ahead of us. We're using the slipstream down into this overtaking opportunity. We make a huge dive bomb down into turn 9 and we make that overtake. We get that overtake done. Here's a replay of it. I was really happy with that overtake. That was a nice overtake down the inside. Nailed that braking there, and now we've caught up right behind Devin Butler. There he is. Devin Butler finally makes a return in F1 2021. He was there in F1 2020, I'm pretty sure, but there wasn't anything new about him, whereas in F1 2021 he has a new role in F1 2021 Breaking Point. And yeah, now we're finally face to face with him, right on track, wheel to wheel racing with him. We've caught up to him. Now we have to try and overtake him. I'm being pretty patient here because I don't want to overtake him in a place or in a way that would compromise our race, because I mean it's only lap number 8 and we're only 2.5 seconds away from Casper Ackerman. We're only 2 positions behind, so I can catch up to him way before lap number 11. As you can see, we try to go for that turn 9 dive bomb and we squeeze Butler out. The position was ours, the racing line was ours, and we secured that position there. And yeah, that was a great way to secure that position. I think we did well. Coming to exactly a lap later, pretty much onto lap number 9, you can see as we approach the turn 11-12 chicane, we kind of cut the cornerbacks and it goes into a cutscene.
What a brilliant Australian Grand Prix this has been, but there's still plenty of time for more drama.
There certainly is, Crofty, and these two have been fighting each other incredibly hard so far. They don't want to go tripping over each other though, because Devin Butler is coming up from behind. He's on the attack too.
Aiden, Casper's not your priority. We need you to defend.
It's okay. I've got this.
Here comes Butler. 3 abreast going into turn 11. Oh, this can't work, and it doesn't. Ackerman's off onto the verge of what looks like damage as well.
Is he okay? Is Casper okay?
He'll be fine. He's heading for the pits now. You just concentrate on the race.
And there we have it. Sure, there's going to be fireworks in the Haas garage tonight.
There will be, Crofty, for sure. Look, it was a late move from Devin Butler, but you never want to see 2 teammates make contact, and Ackerman will surely be seething at that one.
Absolutely, and I tell you who else isn't going to be happy too. Aiden Jackson, not how his F1 race debut should have gone.
The damage appears to be minor. How's it feeling, Aiden?
Yeah, car's okay.
Understood. See how well you can do out there.
Copy.
So in Aiden Jackson's opening race, in his maiden race, things were going so well, but just as he tries to overtake his teammate against team orders, it's a disaster, and Ackerman's pretty much out of the race. He had to, actually he's not out of the race, but he's out of the points pretty much, and now we have to try and get back in the points. And who else holds the last points position but Devin Butler, the man who got in the way. Yeah, this is not the first time in the story mode that Devin Butler has clashed with us. On F1 2019 he had a crash with us, on F1 2020 he had a crash with us and our teammate, which makes matters even worse. We can see we're literally pushing him through that corner. We pushed him through the penultimate corner. Literally, we made contact with his rear wheels. But yeah, he's super slow for some reason. But I think that's why he's super slow, so that we can get past him easily. Down into turn 1, we had DRS. I have noticed that DRS is quite powerful on this F1 game, because obviously Rich Mix is gone, so things like DRS and ERS are ultra powerful. We squeeze him out again. This time we squeeze him out more aggressively. That's kind of getting a little bit of revenge maybe for what he did to us. So yeah, we squeeze him out there, and we do have DRS down the second straight because we had DRS down the first straight, and by the time we reached lap number 14, the gap behind to Butler is massive. At the same time, so is the gap ahead. Coming to the end of lap number 14, the gap ahead hasn't really gone down, and I think that's as far as we can go. I don't think we're gonna catch up to Norris. On to lap number 15 now. We're doing pretty well. I'm getting the groove, you know. I'm enjoying this racetrack. I'm enjoying racing around here. We're coming down the home stretch now. It's been a tough maiden race, but finishing in the points paying positions in a driver's maiden race, it's just great.
Race, we'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. What a start to the season this has been. A fascinating race here in Australia,
The top teams as ever continue to push the boundaries of the sport, and it'll be interesting to see how the new Haas driver Aiden Jackson settles in, especially after that early incident involving his teammate.
Well, we've certainly seen rivalries born from less. Suffice to say, if you came into the 2020 season hoping for a bit of drama, it looks like you won't be disappointed. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So now we're in the post-race part of Chapter 1. An awkward incident involving Devin Butler and his own teammate Casper Ackerman marred Jackson's maiden outing in F1, and let's see what happens after the race. This is going to be interesting.
Casper, listen, I don't know what happened out there. It wasn't my fault.
Well, whose fault was it then? Who was the idiot behind the wheel of your car, You're pathetic. You won't even admit when you made a mistake. How did they ever sign you?
Oh, Butler. Devin, I didn't see that.
Oh, what, like, out on the track today? You nearly took me out, mate.
Look, I don't know what happened. You cut in, I swerved. Next thing I knew, Casper was out.
Whoa. Mate, I was nothing to do with it. Bruh. Whatever that was all on you. Don't be trying to pass the blame, because you haven't settled in yet.
Sorry, Aiden. Just bear with us one sec.
No problem.
I think that's really just a case of rookie driver, rookie mistakes. These cars are a bit different to what Aiden's used to in F2.
You seem to find your feet quite quickly after you graduated from Formula 2. What advice would you give to Jackson in his first season?
Well, stay out of my way mostly. And taking out your own teammate isn't something I would make a habit of.
Almost ready, Aiden. We're just checking audio levels.
Sure.
Seriously, Casper must be wondering what on earth Haas were thinking.
That's great. Thanks, Devin.
Okay, Aiden. Let's talk about that incident with your teammate.
Aside from the fact that Ackerman is absolutely fuming, we can see that Devin Butler has literally taken it up a notch. I mean, Codemasters, hats off to you guys. You've literally taken Devin Butler up a notch. I mean, that was insane. He completely dismissed that he had anything to do with that crash. I mean, that's really another level. And yeah, I just cannot believe that. I was so excited, so happy to see that in the game. But for now, we have to go on a phone call with Brian.
Brian?
Talk to me. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, what happened out there today? I had it all under control and then...
Look, let's not go through all that now. We'll talk about it at the debrief.
Right, yeah.
I was actually talking about your little run-in with Casper and Butler over in the paddock.
Oh, wow. News travels fast.
The paddock talks, Aiden. Besides, I've got ears like a hawk. Listen, Butler's a clown. The man's ego is bigger than a...
Pre-COVID Drake concert?
No, I've got nothing. Don't give it a second thought.
Thanks, Brian.
But Casper? Yeah, so you can get a little hot-headed, especially after a race. But you have got to work with him. That manoeuvre today.
Wasn't my fault, Brian.
It probably cost us points. I'll level with you. A lot of people on the team are disappointed, Aiden. And I'll be saying as much to Casper. Now, learn from it and move on. But you can't let it happen again. I'll see you at the debrief.
It's good to see that Brian is at least a little bit understanding about this, although he does, give Jackson a good lecture that, he needed to be more careful. So I'm scrolling through the social thing because some of these tweets are awesome, like the cue the swerve thing. Yeah, I mean, some of these tweets are really funny, and some of these tweets are pretty much cliche tweets, like the start to the season was so great, but some of these tweets are actually really good. They're about the Haas incident, the incident in the cutscene, and yeah, I think it's great to see. It's great to see these kinds of new elements in this series. It's really interesting, and hopefully it can develop into something even better in the next F1 game. But for now, this is already really good. We're on to the emails now, and I've got to say, this email from Gunther Steiner, I feel like it doesn't suit Gunther Steiner. I feel like he wouldn't be so chill about that incident. And we have an email from Saskia Mills. I think that's our personal assistant, Aiden Jackson's personal assistant. She's talking about a photo shoot and some interviews for the next day after the race, after the Sunday. So probably that would be the Monday after the Australian Grand Prix. You can see that we completed all the objectives and everything for chapter 1, so that's why we have got some XP to end off this chapter. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed filming it, and I enjoyed watching those cutscenes because it was pure madness, this episode. It was really shocking in a great way to see how great the series is, and I can't wait for chapter 2. This is F1ntastic Gaming.